Hi, welcome to That's a Thing podcast, episode .07. It is February 6th, Wednesday.
Hello, my name is Kevin Brown, also known as Raylith, and with me I have
Drew or False on Twitter.
and a special guest.
Nolan, Mr. N at Nolan Lion on Twitter.
Wow. So we're getting more people. Somehow more people keep showing up on this
A
show.
rotating chair.
Yeah, we have.
I actually just broke in.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're like,
great.
hey, come on.
Yeah. So
Cops are literally outside the apartment right now.
they actually are. I think they're searching the.
They saw me walk in, they're like, I don't trust the look of that guy.
No, I think it's because like the apartment next to me, no one goes in or out, except sometimes they do. So I have a feeling either it's a rich man's like affair den,
Yeah.
Affair chamber.
or they're doing drugs. My personal is I'm leaning. I mean, since the cops out there, it may
Yeah.
be
Strong case for
maybe
drugs.
drugs, like a marijuana thing, but I still have a hope that it's Rich Man's Affair Cave, because that would be the best for me, because I've been here for like 2 years, and I have seen people only walk in and out of there suspiciously like twice. Sometimes the light is on, because okay, this is completely off topic, but this is what we do. Is my sleep schedule is bad, so I'm going to bed at like 3 a.m. and
lights are
I've
still
never
on.
had any complaints nor seen or heard anyone over there. So they're either doing stuff when I'm not around the house, or I don't know. But that's
Either way, they don't want undue attention thrown their way.
yeah. I'm
Here's the
fine.
problem, when that blows up, that's going to be great.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's gonna probably
You
be its own
put your
episode.
chair out there. And
That's like 2 comics worth of material. All right. Anyway, so Nolan, since we're stealing some of the super best friends, super beast, whatever, how was your week? And you can say about last week, or just in general, what you've been up to.
Okay, well, just in general, Resident Evil 2,
Man, that's pretty good.
Leon A.
Leon A, Claire B, Fourth Survivor. Oh, God, that game is good.
Yeah,
It is so good.
We did a podcast about it.
Yeah.
I know, that was a good podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an okay podcast.
That was
That-
a podcast.
It was a. That's why it's a thing. Not that's a good thing. It's a.
Oh, you should put ellipses in there.
No, that may be the rebrand.
The remake?
The reboot that's a good thing.
Let's see. The only other thing I've been doing is getting ready for Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm playing through 2. And I got a taste of Anthem.
Oh, good. Because like I haven't. So tell us about Anthem.
Oh, man.
Okay, so you've played Warframe, right?
Yes, I've played Warplane. I've played Destiny.
Okay,
I've
so
played...
you're ready to
Yeah.
talk about that sort of game.
Oh, man, does it just feel awful to play.
That is what I've heard.
The shooting is just garbage, and it sucks.
So
All the missions are about the same too, aren't they?
They're literally the same thing.
So that game, like when I was watching it at E3, because I am a masochist, not in sexual deviancy,
No.
but in terms of video games.
Video
Like
games.
I'm the person that will play and watch garbage because I don't want to let it defeat me. Like I am. Well, that's become less and less, but it's. I think it's the thing where I was in Soul Calibur and a guy beat me in like a match. And then I played him for 40 in a row because I would not let him beat me.
Fighting games are different though from like
Yeah.
But I
garbage
still-
single player
But
stuff.
still, to me, there's an element of like, I will not let this beat. There's a
Yeah.
like you cannot deny there's an element of like masochism to some video
Yeah.
games because you're getting destroyed, and I will not. So I beat Mass Effect Andromeda. I bought that game. It was terrible, but it was terrible enough where I'm not going to let it beat me.
Well, you
I
also
did
needed-
too.
You needed comic material. Nolan, I don't have an excuse for you.
No.
I got a bunch of great clips from that game. Oh my gosh, is that a broken mess?
But I beat it. And when I saw the first footage of Anthem,
Yeah.
my brain was like, "Oh, they're using the same engine
Yeah.
as Mass Effect and like the same,
Yeah.
like the shooting looks the shooting. It's just like if you put a jetpack on those and maybe made the characters not completely bug out. It looked like they repurposed.
So why do I think Bungie is tied to Anthem?
Oh, because Anthem looks almost exactly like Destiny.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not.
Everything
It's
about it
BioWare.
is Destiny-esque.
Okay.
The way you do everything in that game.
Okay, they're just cashing in on the Destiny
They wanted a
fad
Destiny.
that never took off.
I feel like this is going to really crash and burn hard. This is going to be the end of BioWare.
Well, hey, those jetpacks got to cool down.
Yeah.
Those jetpacks.
So what it feels like is when World of Warcraft came out in like 2004 and blew up. And then around like 2005, every company said, we're going to make our MMO. And it took like because in game development, you got to spend like 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
So they spent like 3 to 4 years, and then they released their MMO, and it failed. Because what's happened is they overestimated the market saturation.
Yep.
What this felt like is Destiny and Destiny 2 came out, and did well. Like Destiny and Destiny 2 did well. So EA goes, all right, we're going to jump in there and take it. But unfortunately, because Destiny 2 did well and then had a huge fall off. But Anthem was already probably halfway being made at this point. So they're like, uh-oh.
Maybe they're doing the real deal Destiny. Maybe it's going to be at a year's worth of patches and be an okay game at the end.
Here's the real question. When's EA going to do their Battle Royale?
It's in Battlefield. I think it's in Battlefield.
I thought you were going to say it was going to be Anthem.
No, Dragon Age Battle Royale. There we go.
Okay.
I'd actually play that.
If you want to go with weird game, it's called Madden Battle Royale. 100 football players are dropped into the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, and only one can win the Super Bowl. You get different. Think about it.
No, but it goes by the blitz rules.
Yeah.
So you're breaking backs and legs.
Yeah, it's like a third. Basically, it's Anarchy Reigns, but you're playing as football players.
You got a concussion. It's like a
the seed protocol, the concussion protocol. You're in the tent.
It writes itself.
Yeah, think about it. Use your brain. So
Cliff, it's that easy.
Oh God, you drop down, you're finding shoulder pads and helmets to put on.
Yeah, like different level helmets and
guns.
Guns. like you start the level 1's that leather helmet they had in the old timey days. Then you upgrade to the '60s model, and then the level 3's the modern
base
one,
guard,
all the little pads in there.
It's not guns. T-shirt launchers.
Yeah. Oh no, that's like your special one. The mascot costume. Oh, not okay. No.
Regardless, Anthem is just
not that.
It's awful.
It seemed bland.
Also, there's a leveling up system, but you don't get anything from leveling up.
Is it just numbers go up?
It opens slots up. That's it.
Oh, it's one of those.
You don't get new supers or passive abilities. It's nothing like that.
Oh.
Essentially, everything you pick up loot, that's what you put on your robot, and that's what gives you your number.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
Okay. So it's what it feels like is they chase so my Twitter post of Anthem is chasing Destiny, who's already lost to Warframe.
Yeah.
Warframe has perfected this genre, and Destiny feels like we're going after number 2 but stumbling.
I was literally talking to a room. He's like, man, I really just want to play Warframe now. I want to put this game down and just play Warframe.
Warframe's really good.
Also, these menus are maybe some of the worst I've ever touched.
Worse than Soul Calibur 6?
They're awful.
Oh, you haven't played Mass Effect Andromeda menus. Those menus.
Yeah, no. Listen, they are worse than that because it took me 3 times going through the mission select to actually get through the next mission. Ooh. Yes. It doesn't explain how it is. It just gives you a screen. It's like, all right, now hit X to select. I'm like, all right, nothing's happening.
And
go back to the map. All right, hit it again. All right, quick play. This might be it. It sends you into the same mission I just did.
Did you get any of those
let me go back.
load screen glitches and everything else?
The last mission, which is the oh yeah, you just solved everything. It just froze up and there was no loading screen, and you just see the models frozen.
Okay, so was the story cutscene in that game I want to describe, because I've made this Twitter post, but I need to say it again, where the villain is after the mysterious artifact, and then he finds this woman on the ground, and then he's like, you know what, I'm going to offer to buy it from you for a fair price. And she's like, no, I'll never give it. And then she goes, pity. And then he shoots his literal force lightning at her, the bad guy. and I was like, oh, that's like the most bland thing
Yeah.
for a villain to do.
I saw that. I'm like, man, I want to play the Destiny 2 villain.
Yeah.
again. And he is nothing. He is literally just.
I've seen it. He's just this big old man, but at least he has a cool kind of like, I want the knife. But at least he has like a cool kind of sort of like fat alien angel kind of accent. So it's kind of like,
There's something there.
It's like a blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
Well, this is just not even paper.
No,
It's just an idea who just said sort of like Star Wars, and then like on a post-it note, and they gave it to you.
I do want to talk about one good part of the game, and that's the NPC in the bar, who's played by, I don't know his name. It's Kenneth from 30 Rock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the best. I just love going back and talking to him because it's Kenneth.
Oh, okay.
Talking about, I'm trying to hit on this girl, and she gave me a package, and well, the package was illegal shit. So a guy broke in, and I accidentally murdered him. What do I do? And then you have the options: go to the police, or yeah, it sounds really bad. Cover it up.
Oh,
see, like, what if that was just the bad guy? What if, like, that was your big bad? It's just a toxic best friend that you're trying to help, and you shouldn't be.
That is great.
So
I love that.
That would be another discussion for another day, where I would be talking about like how I think a lot of games and just stuff in general should tone down their stories.
Yeah.
Where like the epic world-ending threat
It doesn't
to
have to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
or it can be the end of a personal world.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the end of the act. Like the idea of, yo, your friend's gonna ruin your life in this weird post-apocalypse, but not like the ancient machine sphere is going to use the weather control and then allow the Dominator to enter our realm. It's like, nah, this guy can't pay rent.
Yeah.
But you can frame that as like, oh, that's real.
There's bad guys messing stuff up.
Yeah.
Let's stop him from messing stuff
doing
up
it.
in this small area.
Yeah, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
Drew, how's your week?
Not bad. I rewatched Monty Python: The Holy Grail. This is only like the second or third time I've seen that movie.
So that I feel Holy Grail is one of those movies where I still think is a legitimately good
Yes,
movie.
it is.
If not a great movie.
Yeah.
But the
It's just
saturation,
so toxic and like.
Yeah.
I would say the saturation of that movie is like it makes you not want to laugh at it because you've seen 1,000 bad variants of this joke.
I don't know how many times I've heard people just quoting that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
But see, I'm out of high school, so I don't run into that nearly as much anymore.
No, yeah.
So like, I watched
That's
Life
the
of...
only time I ever ran into that.
Yeah, it's last month or so I watched Life of Brian. I was like, well, this is okay. And then Netflix got Holy Grail this month. And I was like, well, let's see. And yeah, okay, that's good. Life of Brian's not nearly as good as Holy Grail.
I will say that. I like Life of Brian more, but it's not better than Holy Grail.
And then I also watched this weird Japanese movie called The World of Kanako. And, oh man, so it's this ex-detective who's a shitty dad.
Oh, I like that.
Finding out how shitty his daughter is. And it goes from bullying to drugs to dealing drugs to Yakuza is how bad his daughter is.
Good.
So
basically you're playing through a Persona 4, a
Yeah,
Persona
essentially,
confidant,
yeah.
where you're just missing the main cool-looking main characters hanging out and sometimes saying the right thing to solve the problem.
yeah.
This is my new friend,
You
high
see the
school.
card flip over.
Yeah, this is my high school friend Charlie Tanoku showing up. I'm just
Yeah.
hanging out with him. You know, he seems to always know the right thing to say.
He's just there for everyone. Yeah, except there's not one of those.
There's no
for this
Charlie
movie. So it is a bad, bad world. It's also like 2 hours, but it's intense for the whole 2 hours.
Yeah.
I haven't checked that out. That sounds really good.
Alright. Me, nothing really new. I beat Leon A. That's pretty good. I'll be getting to work on Claire B later. That game's interesting. I might talk more about it on the main topic. I did play some more Dota Auto Chess. It's still good. And I actually played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 3. And what I'll say about that game is it feels like a PlayStation 2 game.
High praise.
Yeah.
Both positives and negatives.
That's probably been in development since then. So
because there's stuff in that game that
Okay, so well, hold on, let me interrupt.
Okay.
I really hope that game starts off feeling like a PlayStation 2 game. The middle part feels like a PS3 game, and the last part feels like a PS4
I would
game.
like that too.
That would be
That'd be really
phenomenal.
So the game has one of the best jokes, I would say, in video games, and I will not spoil it on this thing. Because so the game begins and then you get the joke. And if once you see the joke, and people will know, like there's a joke and you see it, and I'm like, I was almost clapping at the screen because I said, well done. And it's probably my highest. But when I mean like a PlayStation 2 game is yesterday I got into 70 minutes of like cutscenes without saves.
Oh, well, that's also just Kingdom Hearts.
It was cutscene, playable section, no save, cutscene, playable section, no save, boss fight, save point. And that is like, if you're prepared for it, that's what you are getting into a very highly up-res PlayStation 2 game with, I would dare say, more offensive mechanic, not offensive, but like offensive mechanics than you reasonably need. When I said that game is do whatever until you press triangle, there's like, I would say 4 to 5 different ways where you hit triangle and the fight ends.
Okay.
It's done.
Every time I play Kingdom Hearts, I turn those off. Just because.
This one you don't know. This is a
I can understand that.
But not like the reaction commands. I mean, like, this is where your limit breaks come into play. This is where your form transformations, your all. But because and maybe, I don't know if this is intentional or if this is me overanalyzing, but that game feels like I'm on a theme park ride. Where I'm not supposed, like, Kingdom Hearts to me is not, you're supposed to just literally, you're getting in the atmosphere and you're enjoying the ride.
It's one step up from a visual novel.
Yeah. There's more gameplay there,
yeah.
But it's more like, don't think too much. Like, don't think about the logistics of Space Mountain. Yeah. Just enjoy that it's space. Don't be like, well, could this actually be a trans-dimensional transportation hub? Yeah. It's a little too. It's a roller coaster. And this game is like, listen, I know what you're thinking. You're hanging out with Buzz and Woody in a toy box. Let it. To quote Frozen. Let it go.
I actually have one question about that. Yeah. Does it have any autosaves in it?
I think, but I didn't want to risk it.
So I remember my brother.
Because if it doesn't, that's arcade.
There are checkpoints. So there's a boss fight that had 2 phases, and it checkpointed you halfway between.
So talking about saves in Kingdom Hearts, my brother had a friend in high school who played Kingdom Hearts 1 and did not have a memory card. So he left his PlayStation 2 on for like a week solid, and he would just leave, come back home after school, it's still on, and just pick up where he left off.
That's how you do it.
Godspeed that guy.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Kevin, what have you done? Oh wait, no, we just covered. We talked a lot about Kingdom Hearts. I forgot.
We're going to the main topic, which is reboots and remakes.
Yeah.
Because I think in nerd garbage, there's a lot of reboots and a lot of remakes.
Not even nerd garbage, just everything.
Everyone wants to remake something, and I feel like it's both. I think the reason is it's a safe bet because if something is good and we remake it again,
not good, popular.
Oh, this is Paul marketing. Just saying, if we got this thing that did well,
people already love it.
People love it. Let's just put it out again.
Yep.
But I think there are good remakes, and something should be.
Those are rare.
Yeah. I think good remakes.
Like recently, there's been a lot better ones. But overall,
even then, I don't even think that's true. Look at all the Disney stuff they've cranked out.
Okay, so those are bad.
Exactly. So that's why I said good remakes, like everything, are the smaller percentile.
Because I don't know, it seems like with video games, the remakes are, I don't know, better, or
Well,
maybe I'm
those
just.
don't. Those are different because all they're doing is upresing and giving new models and stuff.
But like
Remake 2 is like the only like true remake for a video game.
But so I would go back to way back when with a game called Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green,
Yeah.
where it is a remake, but they updated the mechanic, but they also added extra stuff.
Yeah.
They added like,
But even then, it's still not really a remake. All they did, the graphics are better, and they just used the current engine for Pokemon.
yeah, but that to me, you're still changing the systems.
Yeah, well, it's I think it's a lot different from like the Spyro or like Crash Bandicoot, which is just like top down. Here's the game you played before. Now it just looks a little.
It looks a lot better though.
But it's also like that's still a vastly different thing from like when you remake a movie.
Yeah.
Even look at Psycho from like the 90s or whatever, where it's almost a one-for-one shot remake, and it still sucks.
Yeah. Well, it's
what, you don't want Vince Vaughn as your killer?
I think it's.
No one would suspect him.
Oh no, I spoiled that movie.
I think it's the idea. So if you had to.
To be fair, no one saw it. So.
That's true.
So what do you think should? So do you think if you're going to? So say you have to make a remake.
Okay.
Would you rather remake something that was bad or remake something that was good? Because a lot of people, it seems like we're getting remakes of things that were good, where I'd kind of want like fix this thing.
Yeah, no, you take the thing that you like, it's bad, but there's a heart to it, and you flesh that out.
Like
imagine if someone remade Speed Grapher.
Yeah, that's
imagine if a talented director got put on Speed Grapher.
You have, or even I'd like to see stuff of just shows that I thought were trash and just give them go nuts with it. I would love to see a remake of Street Sharks.
No, I wouldn't.
I would be interested in that.
Maybe so maybe not a remake, a reboot of Street Sharks.
No, I still don't want that either. If something's trash, it stays in the trash can.
No, listen, it's not biker mice.
Right.
It's a pick up biker. Let's get Macaulay Culkin's Wish Kid, but starring 30-year-old Macaulay Culkin in there.
Now's the time.
Now's the time. That's the kind of we go it in real time. So we go from this kid with the magic baseball glove, and now he's a kind of a burnt out old man, 30-year-old man. Go. The events have been continuous. But it's. But then you get the reboot Guardian code, where you're like, why are you doing this?
Remember that thing you loved? Well, here's some.
Here's
a trash can on fire. That's what you wanted, right?
I think the idea is that you're getting
Please, that's too complicated. It's not even that. It's here's some cold garbage.
I would say it's more like here's this bland show that we already had about kids going into computers.
Code Lyoko.
Yeah.
Blander.
That's impressive.
But we just said, how about we put we change the model of the bad guy and call him Megabyte, and then we put the little reboot symbol on our models and say reboot. Because it's just hey, well we have this brand, why don't we just, because some of those things, God, I can't remember, where it just felt like we had an entirely different thing, and we just put the brand on there and said, eh?
Yeah.
I think Devilman's a good remake or a reboot.
Yeah. No, that's also weird because that's technically also, you can just call that an adaptation. You're still working from the same manga source material.
Yeah. So adaptation or
different
adaptation.
Yeah.
Is different because I think it's
you're changing mediums.
Yeah.
You're also it's even if it's you're putting your own spin on it. I think what I feel a good remake or a reboot is that you're going for the feeling of the thing rather than
Speaking of, The Thing is a good remake that does that.
Yes, The Thing, where you're going for the feeling of what the media or the
original
gave you. Yeah. Even though it might not, due to the change of times, might not deliver that. It's like in Resident Evil 2. Yeah. Resident Evil 2 Classic, when people played it, gave a sense of dread and terror. But if you go back to it now, the PlayStation 1 graphics do not Honestly, the mechanics do not give me that sense of like dread
no.
and terror.
And yeah, if you're fresh to it, the tank controls are just more frustrating.
Yeah,
than-
it's not like, oh man, this is a tense and this. You're just kind of like, I can't control it very well, and then this pixel zombie ate me.
Yeah, that's where 2 kind of does great because it gives you that atmosphere of, oh no.
Yeah. And even then, like I've like seeing the initial stuff, I'm like, oh, well, it's gonna be more actiony than the originals, and like some of the horror is gonna be gone. And no, they kept that. The horror's still there.
It is, but it does the Resident Evil. So we're going to talk about Resident Evil. It doesn't matter. But it does the Resident Evil thing where as the game progresses and you become more comfortable, the game becomes less scary. And it's almost, I think, I don't know if this is intentional. I don't think it is. But you kind of understand why Leon and Claire at the end of those games are kind of used to doing stuff in like Veronica and 4.
Yeah.
Because like the first zombie and Mr. X and stuff, that's terrifying. But then like the third time you see him, you're like, okay, I know what to do.
Yeah.
And you feel like Leon's like, yeah, I've done like in Resident Evil 4, it's like I've done this like 3 times.
Yep. That's why he can be cocky.
Yeah, he's like, okay, we got the standard kind of zombie, and then it's a little
they're
bit
quicker. Oh,
they're quicker. Okay,
They got pitchfork.
but like I've done this before, so I'm not as scared.
Yeah.
And I think that game, because by the time I got to the lab in Resident Evil 2, I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I gotta say, man with a chainsaw, not as scary as Mr. X.
No. Mr. X is really scary. But then Mr. X isn't scary once you realize, like, there are parts of the game where you're like, okay, I understand, like, how you work.
Yeah.
I understand. Like, you're scary at the beginning because I don't know where
like for the first maybe like 30 minutes to an hour, you're like, how is he finding it? It's like, oh, okay.
Well, it's also like you eventually figure stuff out. Like you figure out to just with your knife is weirdly strong.
Yeah.
And if a zombie's on the ground and you slice it, you can just kind of keep slicing it, and it'll take damage while it's getting up and it'll fall down. So you can like stun lock it with a knife, which makes those knives really strong. Actually, way better. It's almost better to take a bite than to lose durability on your knife because I ended that game with like a lot more healing items than I did with bullets. Like I ended that game with like 3 Magnum rounds and a couple pistol rounds and like half a tank of flame fuel. And I was like, also, okay, here's my Resident Evil 4 pro tip. Not Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2 remake pro tip. On Leon, when you got that flamethrower and there's plant enemies around, you just feather that thing. Because you can 50 fuel kills them. You just you hit them until you hit them. You hold it until they go on the ground. Once they're on the ground, just feather it, and then it only takes about 50 fuel.
And wait till they smoke up.
Yeah, and then they'll catch really on fire, and then you're like, okay. And let me tell you,
that makes that section a lot easier.
I highly recommend going in there. Just save your flamethrower and flamethrower every plant man. Every plant man.
I emptied my flamethrower in those rooms. And I'm like, all right, done with this, and I kind of threw it away.
Oh, because it's okay on bosses. Like it's not. I used it on the bosses because I was running out of ammo, and I'm like, well, I have 200. Why not? And it does something, but you use your flamethrower on the plant man. Just save it.
I want to ask you one question. When you hit the crate the first time, did you get hit by it?
Yes. Yes,
that's the best.
I thought I was safe. I felt like real smug and secure, and then the cutscene plays, and Leon just gets knocked off the thing. I'm like,
my friend had a better version of that, which is he gets grabbed by Berkman. He's like, all right, hurry up, get out, and then just bam, both you guys die.
Yeah, but
right.
it's just like I think. Honestly, Pokemon has had good and bad remakes. I think Fire Red and Leaf Green are a good remake. I think Heart Gold, Soul Silver are an incredible remake.
Omega and
we're not good. Alpha, yeah.
Yeah, I
those are just boring and dull.
And I was shocked because Ruby Sapphire are some of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's like I got out of Pokemon where I'm Gold and Silver. Because that's kind of when all my friends stopped playing Pokemon. And then I was jumped back in with Ruby Sapphire. So I have fondness for those more so than others. and I got Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and I was really because it reminds me of what you were talking about with the Psycho remake, where that game is like a shot-for-shot remake of Ruby and Sapphire,
Mm-hmm.
and because of it, it just doesn't feel. Except at the very kind of end, it kind of goes.
I also my two biggest complaints for that are one, why did they keep both bikes?
Yeah.
It's just that seems absurd. That oh man, if I want to go over there, I gotta go change my bike out.
Let me fly back to town.
Yeah,
They fixed that in. I think it was
Emerald.
No, in like Gen 4,
Yeah.
where you just pressed B and it swapped.
Yeah.
You had the fast bike and the jumpy bike, and all you had, it was either you just go, whoop, and now I'm in the other one. You had one bike, and you either had jump mode or you had fast mode.
And my other complaint is that I don't think they should have had Mega Evolutions. It kind of, I thought that should have stayed in Kalos and been the special thing for X and Y.
Well, I do want to have, and I may very well in the future have a Pokemon podcast, a series where I just talk about things I like. I tried writing, and I'm still trying to write one of those big old video essays about Pokemon, but one, I've learned that those are hard to do.
Yeah,
And
you gotta do
two,
editing.
no, you gotta write it first.
You get your script down.
You gotta get a script.
So
Even
you
if
don't
it's
sound
just
like a
even if
red
it's
man
just a rough outline, you gotta have it, and your points have to be somewhat concise. But somewhat. I mean, there's videos that are like an hour long.
Yeah.
Those guys are still going on like the same. But part of me was thinking. So this is off. We're just going off the track a little bit. If I was teaching kids about writing essays, I would not say you're writing an essay. I'm saying, all those YouTube people you like where they get up and they talk about whatever, they're just writing a book report.
Yep.
You're listening to their fancy book report.
Yep.
So if you want to get good at doing that, get good at writing a book report.
Oh, then you just make a crappy YouTube page cut out, so when they present, they can just stand in the video section.
I honestly think that would help a lot of
They
kids.
have to make their own thumbnail for it.
I think that would help weirdly a lot of kids be able
Yeah.
to write a lot of paper. Because those kids, they're watching here's
Yeah, no one does these.
Because book report, who cares?
Yeah.
Oh man, look at this guy talking about a movie who's basically just giving you a book report of the movie. He's telling you the themes, the characters, the plot, and what he felt it was.
Yeah.
That's just a book report.
Yeah.
I think that could help.
I think it would. To all you teachers who are obviously listening to this,
Yes.
get hip with it.
You educators.
Yeah. So I think reboots and remakes are fine, but with most things, it's just if you have to put in the same amount of work and effort as you would I think people it's sort of like how you get people talking about Flash animation is lazy when it's no,
It's just a tool.
it's the tool. If you're lazy and you use it,
It can look like Top Cat, but you know what? Top Cat's not made in Flash.
No, if you're lazy, you do go animate.
yeah, there you go. You go even dark. But it's I think scenes in Devilman were
Speaking of, have they done a Go Animate JoJo's opening for Part 5
I'm
yet?
pretty sure they have.
Oh,
It's definitely on there somewhere.
I love those. I haven't looked recently.
Oh, I need to invest.
I don't look for those. They just find me.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of things go. They just kind of come. Nolan, any final thoughts on remakes, reboots, and reimaginings?
The biggest I'm sorry, the two main points I have for that is the differences between the Dread remake and the RoboCop remake.
Yeah.
One of those is really good, and the other one's awful.
But again, also Dread's an adaptation again.
Yeah.
So,
I would even
but,
dare
yeah.
say that the RoboCop remake is unfocused because it doesn't understand what made RoboCop good.
not enough dick shooting.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it.
That scene is one of the funny. That our RoboCop remake where he just shoots all those dicks is one of the funniest things.
I want
I've
that
ever
shirt
seen.
too.
I have a YouTube playlist that's just the most important videos, and it's just every video I think that's real, needs to be saved and always makes me laugh, and that's on there. Along with Steve Harvey, it's just his slow descent into madness. I have Dog Time episode Dog, and but whatever. because that. So I watched that Have you seen the RoboCop remake? Drew?
No, I have not. I did not plan to ever see that.
Yeah, he doesn't watch garbage like us.
Okay, so you're not. So that movie tries to do like it. You can see that this went through like the producer and development changes because the tone is so wild. Original RoboCop's tone is consistent.
Yeah.
It's a snarky satire of the idea of, hey, a super cop will save us, right? That'll fix all the Detroit's problems. Yeah. One robot man cop with a gun will solve the rampant poverty and injustice in this world. And then the Super Ed 209 will come out, Walker, that'll fix it.
Stupid claymation.
Yeah, but it's so that to me, but that theme is like absent in the Robo. But then there's like weird, like there's some of it shows up and it just makes it more like it muddles everything because it goes really sincere and then it's really not sincere and then it feels like it's like rooting for the idea of RoboCops as if like everyone's like RoboCop and it's like no RoboCop is bad. Like the whole point of RoboCop is bad. Like, it's a human abomination, and it's not going to fix the crime. It's just literally you've taken a corpse of a man, put a robot suit around him, and now he kills people for reasons.
So, it came out around the same time as the Total Recall remake, didn't it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
So this is also...
That's an awful one.
So, Total Recall, I would say, is almost... I would dare say it's the reimagining.
Yeah.
Because it's not at all like Arnold Total Recall, but it
has similar beats, but it's not the exact same story.
And I think it's okay. I like it better, but it's not better. Yeah. It's one of it is in that movie where I like that movie better, but it is not good. Like it is not like I'm not going to say, man, that's a great. It's along the things where I watch it and I go, yep, that's trash. And if someone were to come up to me and say everything wrong about it, I would nod with him, agree 100%, and say, yeah, but I like it.
You're not going to die on that hill.
No, but I'm going to admit it's trash. But you can't steal that. Like, yeah, it's okay for that feeling from me. Oh, I forgot to say Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna interrupt. We gotta talk about Hobbs and Shaw.
Have you seen anything from that?
No, I didn't watch the
trailer. It is the new Fast and the Furious movie. Yeah. Idris Elba is a super soldier.
We're going full comic.
Yeah, you gotta have a super soldier drive the super cars.
He is bulletproof and he punches through cars.
He has super strength. He's punching through cars. He's taking bullets. And so we're going full in with the Fast and the Furious are secretly superhero movies where their powers are we drive car real good.
Listen, I told you. I tweeted out. The next one better have ghosts or magic.
Okay, so I haven't told you my brand Fast and the Furious.
Okay, yeah, what's yours?
So the next movie is going to be Fast and the Furious Space Mission. They're going to go into space. And then it's going to end with them finding like a time vortex. So the last final Fast and Furious is going to be the family has to go through time to get the young family, so you get two Dominic Torettos to fight the super soldier, like Galactus is going to be coming in, and then you're going to see two Vin Diesels driving their car through space at him.
See, mine's similar to that, but mine's time travel immediately. And you get Dinosaur Racer, and you get Wizard Racer on his magic car. And you get the DeLorean.
You're back in time, and it's like
it's not like this.
It's like back in time, and then Dominic Toretto's like, "You got a good shit going on here, Merlin. Let's amp it up with some NOS." They put the NOS on his wizard staff. They hit it, and it goes.
It still does the warp drive effect.
Put the NOS. They put the NOS in the spaceship.
I'm just disappointed neither one of you said vampires.
I'm sorry.
No, that's the Blade tie-in.
Yeah, that's where
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes is a vampire. He's a vampire that's also a vampire.
He's in the Dracula mobile.
Well, he turns into it because like the vampires were like car vampires. So you got Blade, but he's the half blood.
And of course, this launches into Scooby Doo, Curse the
Scooby-Doo.
Werewolf,
Yeah,
racing.
Shaggy. Okay, we've gone off the rails. So let's
Yeah.
just end it. Thank you for listening. Please, if you're going to remake something, make sure the intent is to basically preserve the feeling of your work for a new generation, but without try to keep the feeling
Keep the
that
soul in it.
you want that feeling and you want the soul of it. Don't use it as an excuse to work hard. Please go see Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
Okay.
Or don't.
Or don't, if you don't wanna. If you don't think the idea of Idris Elba as a superhuman fighting Jason Statham in The Rock is a good idea for a movie which started out as a ripoff of Point Break, a near scene-for-scene ripoff of Point Break, but with cars instead of surfing.
There it is.
They were literally stealing VHS tapes
Oh,
in,
God.
in movie one.
Speaking of bad remakes, yeah, Point Break. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
They did remake
Yeah.
that.
I forgot about that.
Anyway, later days.
Later days.